Welcome to Bedtime Stories. Today we're going to read Mr. Tickle. Tickle. It was a warm, sunny morning in his small house. On the other side of the forest, Mr. Tickle was asleep. You didn't know what was there so much a thing as a tickle, did you? Well, there is. Tickles are small and round. They have arms that snatch and snatch and snatch. Extraordinary long arms. Mr. Tickle was fast asleep. He was having a dream. It must be having very funny dream because it made him laugh out loud, and that woke it up. He sat up in bed, stretching his ordinary long arms. When he yawned Mr. Tickle felt hungry. So you do know what he did? He reached out for one extremely long arms, opened the bedroom door and reached down the stairs, opened the kitchen door, reached into the kitchen cupboard, opened the cookie jar, took out a cookie, brought it back upstairs, and tonight the bedroom door and back to his bed. As you can see, it's very useful instead of having arms as long as Mr. Tickle's. Mr. Tickle met his cookie. He looked out of the window. Today looks very much like a tickling day, he thought to himself. So later that morning, after Mr. Tickle had made his bed and cooked his breakfast, he set off to the forest, and he walked along. He kept his eyes very wide open, looking for somebody to tickle, looking for anybody to tickle. Eventually, Mr. Tickle came to a school. There was nobody around, so he's reaching for the long arms to a high window ledge. Mr. Tickle pulled himself up and peeked through the open window. Instead, he could see a classroom. There were children sitting down on desks and a teacher writing on a blackboard. Mr. Tickle waited a minute and then reached in through the window. Mr. Tickle's suddenly arms went right up and the teacher passed and tickled. The teacher jumped in the air, turned very quickly to see who's there, but there was nobody there. Mr. Tickle glanced in the middle grin. He waited another minute and then tickled the teacher again. This time he kept tickling until the teacher laughing and saying, stop it, over and over again. All the children were laughing too at such a funny sign. They were a trouble punishment. Eventually, Mr. Tickle thought that he had laughed fun, so he gave the teacher one more tickle for luck. And then very quietly brought his arms back to the open window to himself and jumped down from the window, leaving a poor teacher to explain what it was all about. Which, of course, he didn't. Then Mr. Tickle went downtown. And what a day Mr. Tickle had. He tickled the policeman on traffic duty in the middle of town. He gazed emergency traffic jam. He tickled the dangerous green glitter just as he was piling apples neatly in the shop window. And the green crosser fell down over backward, and then the apple rolled all over the shop. At the railroad station, the conductor was about to have his flying on the train to leave. As he lifted his arm, Mr. Tickle tickled him, and every time he tried to fly, Mr. Tickle tickled him until the train was 10 minutes late, leaving the station, and passengers were furious. That day, Mr. Tickle tickled everybody. He tickled the doctor, he tickled the printer, he even tickled old Mr. Stump and the postman who dropped all his letters into the puddle. Then Mr. Tickle went home, sitting in his armchair in a small house on the other side of the forest. He laughed and laughed every time he thought about the people he had tickled. So if you were any who tickled him between Mr. Tickle and these extremely long arms of his, just think business you somewhere around at very moment while you're reading his book. Buzzard and extremely long arm of his are really creepy in the door of his room. Princess was opening the door now and coming into the room. Princess, before you know what's happening, you will be really and truly